Which brings me to my guest that I have in the studio, who's Greg Zotta. He has written a book. You're going to love this. How to Indict Hillary for Dummies. And I love the title because we apparently have a Justice Department full of those in D.C., Greg. My thought was that once Donald Trump got in office and we got some new leadership in the Justice Department, they might reopen this investigation. How are you?
Thanks, Marc, for having me on your show. I really appreciate it to get the opportunity to promote the book.
What's your conclusion on? I mean, you have done the work that a prosecutor would have done in a lot of cases to try to take this thing to court. I mean, you've laid it out for them here. It would be so easy. Some of them could just sleep in the morning and use your book, I think.
That was the whole point of it. James Comey on July 5th of 2016 in his 15-plus minute diatribe where he laid out a case for indictment and then at the very end did a 180 and decided not to indict.
Yeah.
And he said no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute the crime. Well, give me an unreasonable one. So what I did with the book, I wanted to, in layman's terms, basically point out that what she did violated the law. She intentionally did this because it was Comey's escape. Well, she didn't intend to do it. Yes, she did. She intended to set up a private server and do public work on that private server. She intended, when they subpoenaed these records, to destroy them. She intended, when she lied before Congress, she lied to the FBI. These are all violations. And I believe, in her debate, if you recall, she tried to play the race card and say there's two justice systems. Well, unfortunately, there is two justice systems. The two justice systems is the who you knows, like the Clintons, that seem to get out of everything, and then the rest of us.
Yeah, I love the chapter where you went over the actual probable violations, and I think that speaks volumes because it takes a couple of pages to go through them all, and it lists the U.S. code for each one of them, which is 18 U.S. code for bribery, acts affecting a personal financial interest, conspiracy, making false statements, frauds and swindles under mail fraud, obstruction of justice, destruction of records in federal investigations, perjury, disclosure of confidential information, attempt to evade or defeat a tax, concealment, which would include the removal or mutilation of government records. I mean, it goes on and on and on, and it brings me back to something you also make reference to in your book, which is when Trey Gowdy hammered Jim Comey on some of Hillary Clinton's lies, and I've got that here. Listen.
Secretary Clinton said, I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email. There is no classified material. Was that true?
There was classified material emailed.
Secretary Clinton said she used just one device. Was that true?
She used multiple devices during the 4 years of her term as Secretary of State.
Secretary Clinton said all work-related emails were returned to the State Department. Was that true?
No, we found work-related emails, thousands, that were not returned.
I understand now why you dedicated an entire chapter to that Gowdy and Comey interaction.
Yes, because it shows that Comey's a liar. He's not an honorable man. James Comey refused to indict Hillary, and there's a number of reasons for that. It's outlined in the book. Comey and the Clintons go way back. He was a deputy counsel on Whitewater, which they didn't do any time on. He was involved with the Sandy Berger case. I don't know if you remember that, where he went into the archives and stole records. It's all outlined in the book where it shows that Comey had several reasons why he did it. We don't know exactly why, but I lay it out exactly what he did and his ties to the Clintons. And it's
What kind of reaction, Greg, have you gotten to this? Again, I'm with Greg Zotta, who's written a book called "How to Indict Hillary for Dummies." Have you gotten any feedback from people in the law enforcement community when it comes to this, or the judicial community?
I've just within the past couple of weeks put it out on Amazon. It's available on Amazon, and I've been getting pretty good reviews from people just talking. And the release of the book happens to be pretty timely because, as you know, she came out with her book, What Happened? So my subtitle of this book, I thought about it after, it came out, is What Should Happen, is how she should be indicted.
What should have happened?
Yeah, and a dummy like James Comey could even figure it out, because I lay it out in, like I said, layman's terms where the people can understand exactly what she got away with.
Right.
And
right.
In this country, it's supposed to be equal justice for all. The Lady Justice is blindfolded with the scales and the sword because it's supposed to balance it out. And when it comes to the Clintons, they get away with everything. I mean, they stole property from the White House when they left, and when they got caught, they returned most of it and then paid cash for the remainder of it. That shows the type of people these people are, and yet, for whatever reason, they're praised. And as a policeman, I like to go after and get the bad guys.
Right.
And I like to hold people accountable for their actions. And unfortunately, when it came down to the Clintons, they're not being held to the same standard as everyone else.
You served in law enforcement here in the St. Louis area?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, where?
St. Louis City Police.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, if you're looking for a good read and something that just explains every facet of this case, and it's not necessarily a long book. You're at about 150 pages here, with even with your background in the back of it, the notes and all. But it's a good read, and it's a lot of this is stuff that we talk about on this show all the time. And I shake my head, Greg Zotta, that we have a brand new Justice Department that's still not going after Hillary Clinton on what seems like an open and shut case.
Well, that's my hope, is to get this book out to the general populace, and then they can contact their representatives and maybe wake Jeff Sessions up. I don't know. He just said he wasn't going to go after Lois Lerner for the IRS abuse.
I saw that, yeah.
And today I heard that 3 of Hillary's attorneys, they're going after them for the emails. What's going to happen with that? I don't know. They gave them immunity.
They gave some of them immunity, yeah.
Another thing I'd like to point out is people like Geraldo and Juan Williams said we just need to drop the Hillary thing because it's so old. It's so old. Yet they just, within the past few years, Whitey Bulger, he was a murderer and went under the ground for 20 years. And they finally got him, and he went through the justice system. So time has nothing to do with it.
Right.
The thing is, she violated the law. She violated numerous laws. And like I said, get the book. It's outlined in the book, all the different crimes that she committed. And the supporters on her side don't seem to care, and that's not right. Like I said, as a former policeman, I went out and locked up the bad guys, and for the most part, they went through the justice system. And it seems like some people are above the law, and that's not the way our country's supposed to be.
Well, I appreciate you. Greg Zotta, thank you so much. It's on Amazon, correct? It's called
Amazon.
How to Indict Hillary for Dummies. You can find a copy of the book there, and I've got my own personally signed copy of it here, Greg. So I appreciate that. Apparently somebody gave a copy of this to Hillary Clinton.
Did they?
This was her response.
What difference at this point does it make?
She wants you to just go away, Greg. Let's quit bringing this stuff up. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for your service as well.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. All right, 314-969-9797, 1-866-455-9797. Those are the phone numbers down here. We'll get to that, more of this Steve